Hey guys, welcome to my channel again. So today I will be doing a story time video. Well, I went on Facebook and I actually posted what some of the videos that you guys would like for me to make or some of the subjects. And one of the subjects was actually about birth, delivery, labor, birth. Yes, birth. So today I'll be talking about my birthing experience, being in labor, and how it all went. So let's start. It was on the 27th. I was up all day and I was just relaxing. I was really tired and I took a nap. So I took a nap. It was only like an hour and I woke up in the middle of my sleep. In the middle of my sleep, my water broke. Like I was still laying down in the bed, just woke up, like something told me to wake up, and then boom, my water broke. So my water broke, and then all I do is I start calling everybody. I called my husband first, then I called everybody else. And after I had called my husband, I had to call the doctors to, see, because my hospital was further than where I had lived. It was kind of like 30 minutes away. So I called them to see if it would be okay. Will I make it there? And they was like, yeah, you should be fine. It just broke, so you'll be okay. So we're in the car, we're driving, and a lot of people, I was working at QVC, and a lot of the women out there are older, and they were giving me advice, and they was like, make sure you get something to eat before you go to the doctor's office because they will not give you anything but ice. And I was like, ice? I'm going to be starving. I'm going to be in labor for like ever. And all you guys are going to give me is ice? So me and my husband decided to stop by Chick-fil-A. We get us a chicken sandwich and fries and a drink. So we stop and we're still driving on the way to the hospital after we get finished getting our food. And I actually had to go to the bathroom. So we had to stop at another restaurant and go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, in between all this time, while this is going on, my water is still dripping out. But I had pants on or whatever. And I had cleaned up before we had left the house. And it was still coming out. And I was like, why is it still coming out? I thought it was just one little psh, and then that was it. I didn't know that it would keep coming and coming. So the water kept coming even though I had to go to the bathroom. Hey guys, sorry my camera had just cut off due to this storage thing that's going on with Apple or whatever. But yeah, anyways, back to the story. Meanwhile, my water was breaking between all of this, and hold on, let me get my camera fixed first. Meanwhile, my water had broke in between all that was going on, and I was still trying. So we finally made it to the hospital. Okay, I'm gonna start from right there. Finally made it to the hospital. We get to the hospital, and they ask you all these bunch of questions while you're in the waiting room. They ask you if your water broke. You tell them yes. Then they get you in your real room that you're gonna be in when you deliver. So you go to your real room and you put on, the little smock and your little socks and stuff. After you put on your little socks and your smock, then what goes on is they give you IV. Now, my experience with the IV was terrible. I told the nurse who did my IV that it was hurting. It felt uncomfortable, and I didn't think it was supposed to feel like this. And my husband was like, well, can you do anything, to help her out? She was like, oh, it's okay as long as your arm doesn't swell up. I was like, what? I was like, if I tell you it's uncomfortable, you're supposed to fix it or take it out and redo it. Whatever. I could tell she was new because it took her forever to get the IV in. Then my arm started to bleed when she stuck the IV in. So I was just like, oh no. Didn't want to go through that again. So I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll just deal with it. Because I was already, just sitting there waiting. I wasn't starting my contractions. It took me at least a good 6 to 7 hours before I had to get the medicine to induce your labor. So I got the medicine to induce my labor. Once they gave me that, and then I started contracting. I didn't really feel anything at first. Everything was cool. Then about 3 hours later, that's when it started to hit. Like, the doctor came in and he was like, you're going to start not to smile anymore. And that's when we know it's time. It's game time. I was like, nuh-uh, I'm going to still be smiling. I'm going to still be happy. That's what I was saying. But no. As soon as those contractions started coming on faster and harder and time started to pass, whew, it got terrible. During like the next day, I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock, that's when I had to get my epidural. I could not take it anymore. I was going crazy. I was like, please, please, please give me the shot. I have had enough of this pain. I held on for as long as I could, I swear, because I did not want to get an epidural because I heard it can paralyze you, and I was just scared because it was a long needle and it'll freak you out, you know. And I can handle pain. I could take pain, but it was just, you know, I didn't want to have an epidural. I wanted to do it natural. Couldn't take the pain. So, you know, after like 6 or 7 hours after the contraction started, got my epidural. Then when I get my epidural, it was like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know how long it was. All I know is by the time I was getting ready to push and give birth, the epidural wore off. Yes, it wore off. And I was trying to tell the nurse, because it was just the nurse and my husband. The doctor doesn't come in until you're really ready to push it out. Your baby out. So the doctor never came in there until, you know, you're ready to push your baby out. So I was telling the nurse, hey, I think my epidural is wearing off. I'm starting to feel pain. So, oh, no, that's okay. And they were like younger nurses. That's why I was like, you guys really, you could tell they didn't have really any experiences with, you know, people. You could tell they were kind of fresh because the things they were saying was ridiculous. This was my second younger nurse that was in there. She was going to be in there with me giving birth. And she was just like, oh, no, it's okay. It's going to help you become a good pusher. You'll be fine. I'm looking at her like, no. I said, ma'am, I'm starting to feel the pain. It's starting to get worse. Please, 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 give me this epidural. Please. Like, I was begging her. I almost started to cry. Then she still wouldn't give it to me. She was like, no, it's okay because you're already pushing. There's no need to give you an epidural. Like, she was just coming up with every excuse in the world not to give me this dang on epidural. Like, give me some more of the medicine. And so she didn't give me some more of the medicine, and I was just pushing plain old. It was like, okay, you got to do this, Marquita. Put your game face on. You got this. So I was pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then once you get to a certain point, the doctor will come in there. Once the baby's head will crown, that's when your doctor comes in there. So the doctor comes in there. And then I was pushing and pushing and pushing. And he finally, his head came out. But my son's head came out. Yes, I had a boy. My son's head came out like with his arm. His arm was like this. And he came out like that. So I experienced a lot of pain. Imagine not having an epidural. And on top of not having an epidural, imagine pushing out with an extra arm connected to a head. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just chilling like, what's up? You know. So then I pushed the rest of him out. He came out at 5:36. He was 7 pounds, my little sweetheart. I'm sure you guys have seen this video up here. But yeah, he came out at 5:36 in the morning the next day. So I was so happy. Giving birth to my son was the most best, liberating experience I ever experienced in my life. I never knew I could love somebody so instantly. Like they say, it is a blind date. It really is a blind date. And like, I was just so happy to give birth to him. It was like me and my husband were crying. We were happy. We were excited. You just felt the love in the room. And even the nurse told us after I gave birth to my son, the nurse was like, oh my gosh, the way you guys looked at each other and the way you guys just kissed each other and looked at your child, it almost made me want to cry. Like, yes, we were like in a movie moment. It makes you feel like that. Like, when you have children, if you don't already have children, because if you do, you know what I'm talking about. But when you have children, it will definitely change your perspective on what love is. Like, giving birth to your child and holding it for the first time, that's real love. So yeah, that was my experience on giving birth. And I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video down below. And thank you for watching. See you later on my next video. Just got done feed my son. You see him in the background. Yeah, he done. He done. The kids did a PE.